This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 2nd day of August in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Now here's what we're tracking tonight. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton today claimed that the government is actively trying to get a magistrate of its choice to oversee the current elections fraud trial and has since launched a vicious attack on the current process unfolding. At his weekly press conference, Mr. Norton said the accusations leveled against the current magistrate overseeing the matter, that she is entertaining frivolous objections, failing to record evidence, and is suppressing evidence, is a well-calculated move to frustrate the magistrate to have her stand down from the trial. Vice President Barra Jagdeo has already indicated that he believes the matter will reach the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Information meeting the opposition is that Barra Jagdeo is doing everything to frustrate and ultimately replace the present magistrate with a magistrate of his choice, who he wants to place there to ensure conviction, even if there is no case against the accused. Jagdeo must know that there will be serious consequences should he go down this chosen path to a conviction. The law should be allowed to take its course, free from political interference.
Mr. Norton also condemned the Vice President's statements that he intends to invite international observers to observe the trial. Norton said such a move could be seen as one to intimidate the court.
It is undemocratic for the executive to seek to coerce, whether by outright or inferential threats, the courts to bring about its desired outcome in any proceedings before the courts. And it is alarmingly sinister to seek to do this by casting aspersions upon the integrity and impartiality of judicial officers without justification.
The opposition leaders said as the country prepares for another general elections in 2025, there can be no better time for the courts to be allowed to do their job, as they have demonstrated themselves very capable of doing in the past. More news coming up in just a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy. Or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, oh. Welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
Well, the leader of the Alliance for a Change, Nigel Hughes, today rapped the government over what he sees as attacks on the judiciary for decisions handed down in local courts. At the press conference at the AFC's headquarters, Mr. Hughes said the alarming trend has seen both the Vice President, Bharat Jagdeo, and the Attorney General, Anil Nandlal, unleashing attacks on the local judiciary. He said the Guyana Teachers Union case, in which Justice Samuel Kissoon ruled it was illegal to cut the salaries of teachers who had engaged in industrial action, is one such case. According to Hughes, the language used by the Attorney General to describe not only the decision of the court, but the judge was completely unacceptable.
If you found discomfort in the language, the actual trespass to the founding principle of separation of powers between the judiciary, the legislative, and the executive is even more alarming. In that case, and subsequent cases, as I'll identify, the Attorney General took it upon himself to threaten the judiciary by using language that made it clear not only the displeasure of the executive with the outcome of a case, and that's perfectly normal, but effectively to suggest that the Honorable Justice Kissoon, whose decision he described as vacuous, was not fit to be a judge. That we consider most egregious.
Hughes also said one of the most recent attacks unleashed by the Attorney General on the judiciary surrounds the High Court's decision to adopt the 2018 arbitration decision in favor of American oil company ConocoPhillips. Justice Gino Posada had presided over that case. Hughes said instead of criticizing the judge's decision from an academic perspective or appealing the case, the Attorney General personally attacked the judge.
Ultimate distress came when the Attorney General, reverting to the Conoco case, decided that he was going to refer Justice Posada, or he said the option to refer Justice Posada to the Judicial Service Commission because of a decision he made is frightening in all aspects. If you think about it as a sitting average citizen, here you have the Attorney General not only expressing his displeasure with the outcome of a case, not only going on to attack the judge and his competence, but saying that, look, we will take this judge to the Judicial Service Commission because we are unhappy with a decision. That is a clear shot across the bow of every judge. And given that we've had the largest single admission to the bench recently, this is cause for grave concern.
He said in a similar fashion, the Vice President on Wednesday sought to criticize the decisions of City Magistrate Lerone Daly, who was presiding over the electoral fraud case.
The statements by the Vice President, apart from their intemperance, indicated clearly the fact that the executive thought that it is appropriate, while a case is being heard, for a non-professional person, i.e. a non-lawyer, to comment during the proceedings adversely about the decisions made by a sitting magistrate. The law provides for appeals during the hearing of a matter against decisions made by a magistrate, and clearly that is an option available to the prosecution. In this case, the Vice President, who holds not an insignificant amount of power in the country, decided to attack the magistrate and the decisions she had taken.
Mr. Hughes said he hopes the Guyana Bar Association has taken note of what has become a standing practice in the country. Vice President Bharat Jagdeo, while expressing his frustration, also said the government will be inviting the diplomatic community to observe the trial, given its interest in the 2020 elections.
I would join Vice President Jagdeo and say that we welcome any observer, international, domestic, because trials in Guyana are open, except in the cases of sexual offenses cases. So we welcome any observers, and I don't think the presence of observers, whether they are nationals or foreigners, makes a difference to the conduct of the case, or will make a difference to the conduct either by the attorneys or the magistrate. We have confidence in the bench, the entire magistracy. We have confidence in the judiciary, and nobody knows what the outcome of the case will be, but we certainly don't think that efforts to attack the bench during the hearing of a matter is acceptable. You certainly don't think that that is acceptable, but sure, we welcome observers.
The AFC leader said once the observers, whether local or foreign, do not disrupt the trial or make inappropriate comments, he has no issue. Prominent businessman Tamish Jagmohan has denied claims of being involved in gold smuggling and money laundering. Jagmohan issued a press statement this morning after reports surfaced on social media that he may be under investigation by the U.S. authorities. The businessman and gold dealer said he has never engaged in any illegal activity and remains a law-abiding citizen who operates within the bounds of local and international laws. In denying the gold smuggling and money laundering and other accusations, the businessman said there is no credible evidence to support the claims, and he and his family are not involved in such activities. With respect to the claims of him being under investigation by the U.S. government, Mr. Jagmohan said he has seen no official communication or action from the U.S. government or any other body indicating any criminal wrongdoing on his part. Jagmohan said he remains committed to transparency and is open to cooperating with any legitimate inquiry to clear his name, adding that he will continue to work with his legal team to challenge the false accusations and pursue all necessary legal actions to protect his reputation. 2 years ago, when similar reports surfaced, Jagmohan wrote to the Home Affairs Minister inviting a full investigation into his business operations. At the time, there were claims that some local gold dealers might have been purchasing gold illegally from Venezuela. Jagmohan had also denied any involvement in that. Earlier this year, businessmen Nazar and Azruddin Mohammed were sanctioned by the U.S. government in connection with under-declaration of gold and the dodging of taxes in Guyana. Permanent Secretary May Thomas was also sanctioned by the U.S. for her alleged involvement in a bribery scheme related to the Mohammeds. While calling on African Guyanese to remain vigilant and mindful of those who may seek to prey on and manipulate ethnic suspicions to promote their own personal interests, President Irfan Ali, in an Emancipation Day message yesterday, said African Guyanese have no reason to fear political or economic marginalization in the one Guyana that is being established.
Emancipation in Guyana was a hard-fought victory. It was not benevolent gift from the colonizers, but the results of relentless resistance and immense sacrifices of our African Guyanese ancestors. Their spirit of defiance and their will to break from the shackles of slavery paved the way for our freedom. It is their legacy of revolt, resistance, and rebellion that we also celebrate today. Because without this, the institution of slavery would not have ended.
President Ali noted that African Guyanese have a long history of struggle and resilience, adding that their fight for freedom was not only a fight for themselves, but for the dignity and honor of future generations.
Emancipation honors the countless souls who gave their lives in pursuit of freedom from the brutal chains of enslavement. Our observance is a salute to their courage and resolve to break free from the shackles of oppression. These brave individuals who endured unimaginable hardships and made the ultimate sacrifice are forever enshrined in our hearts and history. Let us therefore never forget our duty to pay tribute to our ancestors.
The president, who ushered in emancipation celebrations in the West Berbice village of Hopetown and also traveled to New Amsterdam on Emancipation Day for more celebrations, said emancipation ignited aspirations for greater opportunities and economic independence, and African Guyanese carved out opportunities to advance social, political, and economic progress. The People's Civic Government has been fighting back claims of discrimination against sections of the African Guyanese community since taking office 4 years ago. It has been heavily criticized for withdrawing the budget subvention from the International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly, Guyana, while accusing the organization of political leanings. The organization has denied those claims.
I can't wait until tomorrow.
Yes.
Start packing this, yeah?
I ain't start packing yet. Usually I pack a couple hours before and I go. Drive. I got my phone, I got my keys, my charger, my
Procrastinating planning for the future? Well, that's never a good idea. Let Demerara Mutual and Demerara Fire and General help you get started with planning for your future today. I'm with Dem.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, Achieving Academic Excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Opposition leader and leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Aubrey Norton, believes any attempt by the government to dominate and control must be totally rejected. Speaking at an Emancipation Day celebration in New Amsterdam yesterday, Mr. Norton accused the government of even attempting to control the Emancipation celebrations, with the formation of several splinter groups and organizations to represent Afro-Guyanese interests.
While I'm not here to attack the government, it will be remiss of me if I do not point out, in all the years I have known African Emancipation Day, Indian Arrival Day, Chinese Day, you name it. This is the first time in the history of a country that a government is seeking to dominate emancipation. Your presence here today is a manifestation that the withholding of money cannot stop the African.
He told the gathering that everyone is entitled to share in the country's wealth equally, and noted also that the role of Afro-Guyanese extends far beyond cleaning drains and sweeping streets. To fend off government discrimination, Norton believes there needs to be sustained empowerment of African Guyanese communities.
I believe that we have the means to do. What it demands is organization. What the government is doing is creating African organizations to create division. We must condemn the divisiveness of this wicked administration. There is no reason for there to be parallel activities. Allow African organization the independence to organize their own activities and invite who they want.
Norton also said the country needs a government that looks out for all Guyanese. He called on citizens to organize and agitate so that there could be a change in government.
We believe that Guyanese can live and work together. And therefore we reject the attempt to divide Guyanese when mounting one Guyana. The reality is, Guyanese long to live and work together. And interestingly, we do it. These times only come when a particular government is in power. And we have to change that.
The opposition leader said African Guyanese deserve the right to fight oppression, whether it comes in the form of economic or otherwise. To this end, he suggested that financial literacy and business management must be taught to African Guyanese youths from an early age. In the world of business and commerce now, the ExxonMobil Corporation has announced second quarter 2024 earnings of $9.2 billion. In a statement this morning, the Texas-based oil company said cash flow from operating activities was $10.6 billion, and cash flow from operations, excluding working capital movements, was $15.2 billion, while shareholder distributions of $9.5 billion included $4.3 billion of dividends and $5.2 billion of share repurchases, consistent with the company's announced plans. Exxon's chairman and chief executive officer Darren Woods noted that the company has delivered its second highest second quarter earnings of the past decade as it continues to improve the fundamental earnings power of the company. He noted the importance of the Guyana operations. The company's upstream year-to-date earnings soared to $12.7 billion, $1.7 billion higher than the first half of last year. The Exxon company also explained that prior year period was negatively impacted by tax-related identified items. Excluding the identified items, earnings increased by $1.5 billion due to the advantage assets volume growth from Guyana, the company said. The company's year-to-date net production was 4.1 million oil equivalent barrels per day, an increase of 9%, or 352,000 oil equivalent barrels per day. A 31-year-old former security guard at the U.S. Embassy here in Georgetown was arrested on a cybercrime investigation. The man Anan Passan from Sisters Village, West Bank Demerara, was held by the police over alleged threats directed to the U.S. Embassy and embassy personnel. The police investigation was triggered by a formal complaint by the embassy. In a statement, the Guyana Police Force said the man is accused of sending a threatening email to the embassy's email address. According to the police, the email, which was sent last Thursday, contained threats directed towards U.S. government personnel and U.S. Embassy's Georgetown facility. Security officials of the U.S. Embassy made a formal report to the CID headquarters of the Guyana Police Force, and based on investigations by police detectives with assistance from overseas law enforcement, the 31-year-old suspect was arrested by detectives at his sister's village home. He was escorted to the CID headquarters for questioning yesterday. The police said further investigations were conducted, and investigators were able to link the suspect to the email address which was used to send the threatening email to the embassy. The probe is ongoing tonight.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy. emancipation.gy or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
Be another car, or is it a house?
If you're looking for sweetness to put inside a basket, I am the whole thinking market.
Get ready for the 3rd edition of Blankets and Baskets on August 4, 2024.
The Maltino's ground comes alive with Guyana's best entertainers and a vibe that can't be matched.
Come for a chance to win numerous prizes,
including the grand prize of a... Tickets are $6,000 with other special luxury packages
from $40,000 to $120,000.
It's the Blankets and Baskets Extravaganza.
For more information, check out Blankets and Baskets on Facebook.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
NYC, New York City. Get ready as the original Big People Party with the same vibes you've seen and loved comes to you this Labor Day weekend on Saturday, August 31st with some of the biggest one-man bands out of Guyana and New York. Look out for Super A, Murphy, Busta, and Super Terry. Big People Party! Along with the legendary Glenn Washington.
Baby, don't take my kindness for weakness. If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right.
Glenn Washington and his band at Industry City, New York City. Get your super early bird general tickets at $40 and VIP access $150 all inclusive. And all are available at hjexperience.com. This event is brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment, Marvelous Entertainment, and GD Events. It's the original Big People Party at Industry City, New York City on Saturday, August 31st. The big and proper edition.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. The United States on Thursday recognized Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's opponent and opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez as the winner of Venezuela's disputed presidential election, rejecting Maduro's claim of victory, according to Reuters. Given the overwhelming evidence, it is clear to the United States and most importantly to the Venezuelan people that Edmundo Gonzalez won the most votes in Venezuela's July 28 presidential election, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said in a statement on Thursday. The announcement from Washington did not go beyond congratulating him for a successful campaign, the closest the U.S. has come since Sunday's contested election to recognizing Gonzalez as the OPEC nation's new leader. The dispute over the presidential election results has sparked protests in Venezuela. Venezuela's Electoral Council proclaimed Maduro, who has been in power since 2013, the winner of the July 28 election with 51% of the vote. But the country's opposition says its tally of about 90% of the votes show that Gonzalez received more than double the support of the incumbent president. in line with independent polling conducted before the contest. The opposition has released detailed tallies on a public website, while the government has so far not shared any information beyond a national total of votes for each candidate. The statement from Blinken on Thursday stopped short of threatening new sanctions on Venezuela, but he hinted at possible punitive action. Reuters reported on Tuesday that Washington was considering fresh sanctions following the disputed election. Caribbean conservationists are encouraging small island developing states to place greater attention on disaster risk management and prevention measures so that the appropriate strategies are in place and actionable before the countries are devastated by natural disasters. This as Hurricane Beryl made history by becoming the strongest and earliest Atlantic hurricane on record in June or July. Speaking at a Global Conservation Connection webinar this week under the topic Disaster Risk Management and Hurricanes in the Caribbean, keynote speaker Dr. Trevor Johnson Jr. from the Bahamas, a consultant with the Inter-American Development Bank and a regional disaster management specialist with the Pacific Disaster Center, stated that issues surrounding disaster management should be at the forefront of the agenda of all governments within the Caribbean region. He argued that as disasters impacted every socio-economic sector, deliberate, laser-focused and pragmatic regional discourse is necessary, and that the issues of disaster risk management demand a full community approach. Disaster risk management is everybody's business, he said. On the morning of July 1, Hurricane Beryl completely ravaged homes and farmlands in Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, leaving little to no trace of vegetation or the possibility of continued livelihoods. And finally tonight, international news. The Harris campaign announced on Friday that it raised $310 million in July, fueled by small dollar donations that flowed into the war chest after President Joe Biden bowed out of the race and endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. The July figure, more than double the $138.7 million raised by Republican rival Donald Trump in the same month, brings the total money raised by Harris and Biden before her to more than $1 billion. The fastest a presidential candidate has crossed the threshold in history, the campaign said. July was said to be a disappointing month for Democrats as big dollar donors withheld money in an effort to force Biden out of the race. But Harris' emergence as the party's presidential candidate has energized voters and donors. More than $200 million of the $310 million came in the first week following Biden's endorsement of Harris, the campaign said. 2/3 of the July donations came from first-time donors, and 94% of the donations were $200 or less, the campaign said. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.